Great leaders understand that in your journey as a leader, you cannot be rude at anyone in any level, whether it's your staff, the other gender, your wife, even the fellow leaders, because rudeness is a weak person's imitation of strength. Coming up, DJ Sbu Hustlers Corner podcast hosts Nota Monday every Mondays. And this past Monday, he hosted Nota versus Mandisa Mashego live debate. The debate that angered lots of black men. The debate started very well, and you could tell right from the inception that it's going to be a heated debate. But the moment Mandisa Mashego started bashing and trashing black men, calling them weak compared to their white and Indian counterpart, and more other statements, of course, against black men, that brought a lot of distaste in so many black men out there and globally even.
So I need to correct you on many levels. Okay. I'm not angry. I'm not an angry person.
Oh, that was my...
I'm not an angry person.
Okay.
The misogyny in you that is embedded in your DNA tells you that you should label a woman who is able to unapologetically do and say what she needs to as angry. So you fall victim to actual paternalism. And paternalism does not stem from African culture or genealogy or African existence at all. In fact, if you had listened carefully, I think I did take you through how we came
carefully
to become what we are, right?
Because I remember that episode.
Children don't become naughty because they were born that way. No child is born naughty. Human beings are not born racist, right? You become racist through a whole lot of things that happen to you and through things that you allow to happen to you and sustain instead of changing, which is, the common factor that as human beings, as all living things, actually are governed by. We're governed by change. The molecules in our bodies are constantly in motion. Therefore, change should be literally how we live our lives, like every second. Of course, not to become psycho about it, but we have the power to change and transform, even from the greatest adversity. But because of many, many circumstances, African men ended up believing that they were more victimized than African women, hence started adopting certain attitudes. And therefore, within the post-colonial environment, started adopting the very colonial, suppressive attitudes from the then colonial, population, not the current white people. They didn't colonize us, right? From the then colonial forces, imperialist forces from the British and the ones who came to, try to settle, and adopted that as a result of their response to try to protect their egos, their fragile egos. And then started defining. So it's un-African even for a black man to define a black woman as angry or as misogynistic or as anti-men or as hateful to men. It's very anti-African. The real African men understood that African women were actually the real leaders in their homes and in society.
It's above that.
No. So you see that smirk that you gave me? That's exactly why the black society is a failure. We are the weakest militarily. The Arabs can fight. They've been fighting. You see all these wars between the Middle East and America and Britain.
Even us as the South Africans.
The Chinese have a military that you can't... You can't defeat. If the Chinese have not been involved in a war, by the way, since World War II. You
In a hot war,
you
yeah.
don't know their strength.
Yeah,
if they
that's
have
true.
to get into a war now,
Well, they've got strength in numbers as well.
if they have to, no, let's forget the numbers. Don't
Yeah.
think like a baby. This is an adult conversation. I'm asking you. I want to come back to Lentong Buzayona about the role of men in our society, especially as Africans, as Black people. Let's say as Black people.
No, I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
No, but it's a fact.
I'm a black man.
We
sitting.
are the weakest nation in the world. We are the weakest race group. If the Arabs and the Russians and the Chinese and that group, Koreans, North Koreans at least, for the purposes of my example, and the Indians just decide we're no longer nice to these guys. The Westerners have milked them, they've sweated that asset enough. It's our turn. They'll take us over in a week. We're not organized. We don't have a military. We're not strong. And you know where it starts? In the household. In South Africa, the last stats I checked, Stats SA has the study. If you have time, go to their website.
They're posting this.
If you go and
today.
You know what's the scary part? The scary part is that this is the same in the US. Mm-hmm. So in all colonial settler economies where there were African slaves that were taken there, it's the same in the US. It's probably the same in Australia. I'm not sure about New Zealand, right?
Probably this is similar.
We have no men in our households. And I'm talking real men, ubaba, who's taking care. We are on our own, and we are often blamed for being on our own. I out of my own free will, decided not to marry because based on my own circumstances.
You didn't want to marry white?
No, I didn't want to marry.
But you didn't want to marry white as well? Because the things that you're saying that black men don't have.
I see. You're asking me if I would have wanted to marry white. Yeah, I would have married. I dated a couple of white guys. I had an opportunity to marry somebody, but I did not want to marry. It had nothing to do with the race group.
Yeah, you didn't want to marry, number one. And you also didn't want to settle for marrying white or marrying out of
No, I did not want to marry. You see, so you don't think in racial lines all the time.
No, I'm saying both are true.
I did not want to marry. It has nothing to do with white, black. I just did not want to marry. I'm heterosexual, so it would have been a man. Mm-hmm. I just was not ready for marriage. I knew because of my own circumstances, and that's taking responsibility. I wanted to marry when I was ready, when I was psychologically ready, when I was emotionally ready, when I was spiritually ready, when I dealt with my childhood traumas, because I knew I had traumas. I might not have known how to deal with them, and I did not want
to marry perfect.
I did not want to take them into another relationship. You understand?
But why?
Now understand. No, I didn't want to. You can't say, but why? It's my own personal choice.
Okay.
It's my right.
It's your right. It's just out of curiosity. It's out of curiosity.
Yeah, it was after 94. It was after, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
But we both are the same. There's women that are being pressured.
The length or the long way. I'm saying to you, have the global view of it.
Okay.
Instead of being micro, what about our feelings? You guys are too fragile. Man up. We don't feel safe around you. I feel more safe around a group of white men, even colored men and Indian men. Mm-hmm. Because the behavior of white men and colored men and Indian men around women is not suppressive. You saying they are playing us. It's okay. Rather play me. Play me. Don't show me your ugly monkey inside you.
Hidden intent.
Black men must accept that they don't have the authority, the power, the legal standing, there's a word I'm looking for. As men, if you want to be seen as men, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have that status. You don't have it. That's why gender-based violence is so rife amongst Africans.
So you guys are pitying us.
That's why abuse of women is so rife amongst black men.
So you guys feel sorry for us?
No, we don't feel sorry for you.
No, but I'm just saying...
but we don't feel sorry for you. That one is...
Then why
we don't feel sorry for you because we know your capabilities.
Marry us.
Okay. We know what you are made of. We gave birth to you. We know what you are capable of. But you fail yourselves. No one needs to give you anything. You need to take it, but not violently, not aggressively. Development doesn't happen on its own. Doesn't happen on its own. It's a deliberate exercise. There's investors and financiers that came together and what you call EPCs. And EPC is an engineering, procurement, and construction firm. They just used to be called construction firms in the olden days, but with the advent of development in the capitalist sectors, development has now been globalized, which I am against, by the way. I'm against globalization, but it's very dominant, and in order to reverse it and come back to what the National Party government used which is localization, we need to act within the globalist structures and then bring it back. Yeah, you can't. It's too strong. You can't overpower it.
So now we're at grade 11 of accepting that we have failed.
You're not taking charge. You're not taking charge.
We're not taking charge. We're just accepting.
You are not taking charge. You are too stuck in victimhood. You are obsessed with race. The white man is laughing at you. And let me tell you, white men are not laughing at black women. I'll give you a small secret. White men even prefer to do business with black women. There's a study that was issued. There's a conversation that Johan Rupert had. I don't know whether he had it on Power FM or another platform.
Yeah, it was the chairman's conversation.
Yes, and he was very accurate. But because black men, your egos are so fragile, you are inverted. That's what I call it. I call it an inverted psychological state of being. That's my own analysis. It's not there's no psychologist that did a study. Your egos are too high and your self-esteems are too low. It should be the other way around. Your self-esteems must be high and your egos must be very low.
So, Sis Mandisa, how do we get to metric?
That's the problem. You want women, the same women that you call angry. It's our responsibility.
We don't know better.
I'm not bringing back his tunes.
Listening to her talking right now, you can tell that she's talking from the position of all the men that she had an experience with. Well, I don't have any problem with that. But when she starts to make all that experience she had with those men a template to judge all men out there, then I have a problem with that.
Take responsibility as black men. Stop this thing. White people did this to us. Indians did this to us. Amakhaladi asenzeni. Abelungu basenzeni. Ibhosi yami abafuna ukunginika increase. Ngiyatoyitoya. I'm burning. When are you building?
Can I give you a perspective?
You know that we are so useless as the black nation. The one thing we are very good at is destroying perfectly working things. Perfectly functioning things, we come and destroy it. But even with that, we should have used destruction as a strength and said, let's build bombs. I need to be a destroyers. We can't even build a bomb. There's no bomb.
I can build bombs, actually, but I'll tell you why.
Don't build bombs.
No, I used to make bombs as a kid, but
it's like how we threw petrol bombs, right?
No,
But that's exactly...
We used to make landmines.
But that's exactly my point. That as the black nation, we need to take ourselves seriously. We can't be known for destroying everything. You know, in America, what was that guy called? The one who was
planning to chase all the white people away when I was a kid.
Was trampled there? What was his name in America?
Floyd.
Do you know how much infrastructure destruction they brought to the States?
I know, I saw that. The Black Lives Matter.
And to this date, even in America, let me tell you the failure of black people. And it is a failure of Africans. Go to America and go to every city and town that has a mayor who is black. And go and look at the condition of that city. Everywhere where a black person has been in charge, Verwoerd said it, Hendrik Verwoerd said it, and many white people have said it. And you call them racist because they are pointing out a fact. They are pointing out an algorithm. You must be able to identify a trend. Say, but this is a trend. Okay, after acknowledging it's a trend, is it a positive trend? Is it a negative trend? That's how you develop and you change and you innovate. Everywhere a black person takes over an administration, a governance, a company, anything, you can look at all the BE companies where that were majority black run, right? Look at Itala Bank, look at VBS, look at the entire government, look at all municipalities, look at all provincial governments. You destroy. You destroy, you plunder, you steal, and you even romanticize the stealing. I'll never ever. Go to America and look at every municipality that is run by a black person. It's trash. It has been trashed. Look at when the black people first took it over. What did it look like? Forget the race relations. Forget whether there was a right-winger, a Hitler. Forget. Look at the condition of that infrastructure. Look at the joblessness or the employment status in relation to the population numbers at the time, because you must look at ratios. Don't say, people always say when I tell them, like in 94, the unemployment rate in South Africa was below 10%. You can't relate to that.
Then she started telling us how much she loves AfriForum and, of course, everything they stand for, and how much she's so appreciative of AfriForum. Well, it's her choice to choose whatever organization she loves. I mean, we also have our own choices. But in my viewpoint, I think it was so insensitive of her to utter such a statement about AfriForum after what AfriForum has done to South Africans. Going behind our backs and start trashing and lying about South Africa to Trump in the USA.
AfriForum.
Cheers.
I don't know if you think AfriForum are racist or not.
I love AfriForum.
You don't think they're racist?
Listen, indoda ezokwazi ukuthi siyaphuma e-UJ, siyaphuma e-UP, siyaphuma e-VUT, siyaphuma e-University of Northwest. We're going to build our own, and then they do it. Shem. Angnandaba, what color you are.
So now
they've built their own university academic, they've built their own technical college.
And we don't mind that.
And their technical college, TVET. I would advise anyone who's able to get in there. Obviously, you have to know Afrikaans, and they have a right to do that. It's their institution. Now you must know Tsonga. When you go there, true like it was in the olden days, you would get a you would get a placement. You would get an actual placement. Companies come and actually recruit the students from there.
Same thing with TNG.
Which is what must happen, right?
Didn't you work at Transnet?
Your TVET colleges, the Transnet college.
You guys used to take people from TNG, everyone in-service training.
No, all the state companies had their own in-service training, which was actually certificated. When you left that job, that certificate you could use. It wasn't
even
just for fun.
Even my sister went to Eskom College there by.
So this thing of trashing AfriForum. And trashing anything that is white. It really needs to come to an end because it makes us look very stupid.
But
do you understand?
Aren't you saying that because you've got white ancestors?
Wow. No, I'm not. I'm saying that because I have a mathematical brain. I believe in anything that works. You're not going to be my best friend because you are black. You're not going to be my best friend because your surname is Mashego or Shilwane or Malapane. You are in my clan. You're not going to be my best friend because we belong to the same tribe. You're not going to, I don't have time for backwardness. You, my best friend, because we share values, because me and you have a value system that we can coexist with, because we build each other as friends, because we contribute to one another's development, because we make each other, I'm happy, you're happy, but when we come together, we are happier, because we respect one another's boundaries, etc., etc. We need to understand that if the labeling white people all the time as racist is robbing us of an opportunity to deal with our own development issues.
You know, guys, especially gents out there, I personally love courageous women who speak their mind. I love women who just stand out there and speak their mind, who are very, 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 very courageous. I love that. I love those kind of women very much, of which that's what Mandisa is. But being courageous, speaking your mind as a woman does not mean that we have to be insultive, does not mean that you have to be rude, does not mean that you have to be disrespectful of the people that you perceive in your standard as inferior than you. That's where I have a problem. Other than that, I love courageous women, guys. I love my woman to be courageous, to get out there on stage and speak her mind without being a shrinking violet. Yep. That's Mandisa for you. I really love the way Nota handled the whole interview. The way he just chilled and downplayed everything that this woman was saying. Because Mandisa was really throwing punches out there. But Nota just took it easy and just took a chill pill and just downplayed everything. I like that about him. What do you think? Let me hear your comment below. And of course, if you're coming for the first time, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.